Hey everybody, welcome to this week's edition of 3 PM, 3 Minutes with Pastor Michael, Theology Made Simple. In today's lesson, we're going to go over what is atonement, and we are going to do our best to explain that in 3 minutes. All right, what is atonement? It is a covering of sins. So in our relationship with God, He no longer sees the sinful people, but there has been a sacrifice on our behalf that has satisfied Him. Let's break it down. So when we were created, God created everyone and everything. There was immediate peace. We had peace with God. And then Adam and Eve and evil within us and sin within us completely tore apart that relationship. So what was once perfect is no longer perfect, and there's no more peace. So God, who is perfect, man who is not perfect, they cannot be with each other anymore. How can man be reconciled and put back together with God? Because there's punishment. God said, don't do this, but we did it anyway. If I can use this example, think about if you were traveling in a taxi cab and you were to push the taxi driver. He would take you out of the car. Now, if you keep on walking down the street and you push a stranger, that stranger would push you back. But then let's say you push a police officer. What would he do? He would arrest you. So notice, it's not the action or the sin that changed, but who you sinned against changed. So when God is holy and infinite, and we sin against that God, that means there is a holy and infinite punishment that needs to be taken care of. God is fully just. He makes the right decision. So why is God okay with the atonement and sacrificing blood of Jesus? Because He loves us and He is just. God isn't going to just ignore the punishment and disobedience that we deserve. There still had to be punishment. We can see this in the Old Testament, Yom Kippur, the Day of Atonement. There was a shedding of an animal's blood that represented and was symbolic of somebody taking the punishment that Israel or the people deserved. Now, here today, we have Jesus Christ, who was perfect, the spotless lamb, perfect, shed His blood for us, that His blood covered anyone who has faith in Him. So that God no longer sees the sinful you and me, but He actually sees the faithfulness and perfection of His Son. So out of God's love for us, justice still needed to be served. And that's why Jesus died on the cross for us. And God was separated. Jesus was like, my God, why have you forsaken me? Because that peace was broken again for us. So all of it takes, this atonement is the sacrificing love of Jesus. And by faith in Him, God no longer sees the sin of us, but sees the faithfulness of Jesus Christ, the righteousness of Jesus Christ. And thanks be to God, Jesus raised from the dead, defeating death itself. And we have that too. So hopefully that explains atonement very briefly. But until next week, God bless and take care.